Now, I know what you're thinking. No, that is not me breathing. That even though it does sound like me after I get up to like walk to the fridge to grab something to drink, but no, that is actually this game's menu right now. You are watching another episode of the Tuesday Night Indie Spotlight. This is number 83. Man, we've done 83 of these. I am not Ben Boyce. Ben Boyce is out of town. My name is Brent Felsing. I'm with Short Pause Gaming, a totally rad website that we run. And tonight we are featuring Echo from developer Ultra Ultra Apps. Now, Ultra Ultra is an independent studio. This is their very first game. The studio is comprised of a handful of members that used to be a part of IO Interactive, they of Hitman fame. And from what I've played of Echo so far, well, let's start from the beginning. Going into Echo, what we knew about it is this was a game, a sci-fi third-person action game with obviously Hitman DNA running through it. And you're exploring this labyrinth of sorts, and the AI adapts to how you play the game. There's a lot of stealth involved, but you can also shoot much like a Hitman game. But the AI will actually adapt to what you're doing. So if you're going in guns blazing, it will adapt to that, and it might start firing back at you. If you go stealthy, you can also expect them to go stealthy as well. So it adapts to your play style. And I played a little bit earlier today, and I've been kind of two minds. There's two ways we could do this stream. We could start it from the very beginning, so you can get the story. But I will say that it's a slow burn to actually get to the first tutorial. But at the same time, I don't want to start at the first area because there's quite a bit that it explains in terms of like what we're getting into here. So, because Boyce isn't here, and I'm just going to do whatever I want on his Tuesday Night Indie Spotlight, this stream might run a little longer. I'm going to try to get to the first area and make our way through that. But I kind of want to give you guys and girls an idea of what this game is like in terms of its presentation. This game runs $24.99 on the PlayStation Store right now. It's also on PC, and I wasn't too sure what to expect. I mean, it's an independent title, but it's $24.99, which is usually a little bit higher than what we expect from our independent titles. But upon firing it up, I really thought the presentation was fantastic. I mean, it oozes sci-fi, and it's a good-looking game, and it runs very, very well to boot. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the beginning. I kind of know my way around through the place that we're going to explore it first, but there's a lot of story that they're going to throw at you, but I want people to appreciate the artistic value of this game and how beautiful it really looks for a $24.99 game. Now, whether or not this game holds up after the 8 to 10 hours it takes to complete, I have no idea. All I do know is I played through about an hour and a half today. It took me about 45 minutes to get through the story, or up to the first area, but I'll try to get through a little bit quicker. But let's jump into Echo. Again, this is a game that bases itself, the AI adjusts to your playstyle. And there were a couple things that I didn't realize till after I was done playing it earlier that I could have done things differently. And there's actually a fair amount of depth to how you plan your strategy for this game. So without further ado, let's hop into this. I'm going to start a new game because I'm nice like that. Flesh and soul shall enter the palace through separate doors. Only strong of mind and body will return.
All our songs were about it. A magical place of life without end. A palace of untold wonders. But only for the worthy. So our lives were desperately dedicated to qualify. Pinpoint perspective on the great reward. Only, I never wanted to go. Those words alone could mean death. So when I ran, I knew it meant never stopping to catch my breath. If I wanted to live. And so it was. Yet here I am. The place I spent my whole life escaping.
This game actually had a lot more story to it than I was expecting earlier on when I played it.
I feel like shit.
Hey, me too.
Of course you do. Your wound has healed. The pain is from the stasis and will pass within a week. The nausea will linger, probably intensify when you start to realize that more than 100 years have passed. Everything you knew is gone. This is not another one of your running away from home excursions. Your grandfather won't send someone to pick you up this time. That's all gone now.
So you decided not to like me. But you've had a century to plan what to say, and that's it? How about you screwed up the best deal we ever had, or you come waltzing in here giving orders, or even Foster died because of you, you stupid bitch. I don't like me much either. But I can fix this. I can bring him back.
All right. That other voice you heard was basically the AI that kind of follows you around throughout the story. From what I've played so far, I haven't seen an actual physical presence of the person doing the voice, but some talented voice work here. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Little miss, but I suggest you start your efforts by laying back down. Loss of motor skills is common even for experienced long haulers, which I suspect you are not.
I suppose you had a long time to mull things over. Nothing I can say will change your mind.
Sound is fantastic in this game as well. Very spacious.
So where is he?
He? Oh, you mean the cube? Yes, I had a very good look at that while you were asleep. I think you're in for a disappointment. Nothing suggests any sentience. No interface to access the thing, nor any reason to do so. There's nothing in there. It's just a pretty cube.
If we knew how to operate it, we wouldn't have had to come here. This is how I see it. You don't answer to my orders, and yet you took us this far, so clearly I'm not the only one hoping that I can achieve something. I can work with that.
Not hope. Respect. For Foster. God knows why, but he wanted me here. The stupid lighter proves it. I suspect staying wasn't even an option, considering how you stumbled on board covered in blood, demanding departure a week ahead of schedule.
Yeah. Respect, then. That'll work, too.
The dialogue back and forth between N here and the AI is hilarious. I mean, it's very... You can tell there's a strain on the relationship, but they definitely go back and forth, and there is some humor to it. And unfortunately, this is as fast as you can walk. Now, Rose Leslie, she is on Game of Thrones. I can't remember which character she is. Nick Bolton as London, that's the AI voice. He actually voiced Druth in Hellblade. So, two very talented voice actors here on display. And they both, from what I played earlier on for 2 hours, they both have done a fine job. So, that always helps in a game like this when it's story-driven. If you have believable voice acting, talented voice acting, it helps it go a long ways. Hey, what's up, Super Cooper? It's a unique game, man. It's a slow burn, but once you start to get into the action, you can really appreciate the depth to the gameplay.
I need a suit.
Yes, you do.
I don't see anything but ice.
It's not ice. I don't know that we can even trust what we see. This Whole planet eluded detection until about a week ago. No visual cues, no gravitational pull, nothing. Even with the exact coordinates, I nearly missed it.
We're looking for a palace.
Why am I not surprised?
Give it a rest, will you? Can you see any structures on the planet?
You're looking at it. It's all one big structure, planet-wide. No palace, though. I'm guessing it's some corporate state's illegitimate mining project from the pre-requisition rush. That would explain the heavy clouding measures. The planet is most likely depleted of all resources. An empty shell. Hope the old man didn't pay too much for the coordinates.
You have no idea. Just get me down there. I'll go see for myself.
So the presentation is just so unique. I mean, I love sci-fi in general, but this game definitely amps it up pretty up to a 10.
Surface too.
What a strange place. It's impressive, really.
I'm enabling the suit's assist mode to compensate for your inexperience.
There's something here. It must be some sort of release mechanism. Did you hear that? It's definitely doing something.
Sure is.
Look, there's an opening down there. It's too far to jump, though.
The suit will soften your landing if charged sufficiently.
And if not?
It will stop you from leaping. The suit reads your intentions from your synaptic activity and receives commands from your voice or eye movements. A bit archaic, but Foster trusted that suit with his life.
Cutting edge doesn't go well with space travel. The journey here alone made the suit an antique.
It's not the suit's performance that worries me.
So as you can see, your suit has abilities. It has a meter that kind of lets you do certain things like push off enemies, shoot enemies. You have an energy meter, and you start off with only 2. As you can see on the screen next to my character, you'll see 1 triangle is filled in, 1 is not. It means I have 1 action ability available to me. If it fills up with 2, I'd be able to shoot my gun twice, but since there's only 1, I can only do it once. It does auto charge, cell costs. You know, after you, it will never recharge to the second one, but the first one will always recharge. But it does take a little bit to recharge. All right, this was a little confusing to get through earlier, but hopefully I remember it.
Falling apart. It all looks strangely warped. I wonder how long it's been here.
A composite like that should last forever, but it all looks ready to crumble.
It must be ancient.
There you go. Now we get a little bit of fast jog, and there is a sprint ability that'll unlock the further along we get. But it does a good job. It does make a point to try to get the story out there to really dive into the narrative, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot more story here than I was anticipating, and I can appreciate that.
This place was made for humans. It's not just a machine line.
Most digs have a basic infrastructure if human presence should be needed. Probably also rudimentary living quarters. Doesn't mean anyone was ever here, though.
Gramps believed the place to be untouched by humans. A palace built by long-lost technology, patiently awaiting its first human inhabitants. And you figure this is no more than a bootleg mining operation. Not to appreciate the contrast.
I generally lean towards plausible explanations. Your grandfather, well, everything he believed in, he made up himself.
I don't know about that. He had the coordinates right.
Look around you. This obviously isn't a palace.
Your man might have gotten some aesthetic details wrong, but he wasn't the kind of person who'd risk everything without some kind of proof.
I really wouldn't get my hopes up.
How do I turn down the volume on the commentary track?
You are overconfident. Immature people often are. You should be taking notes every time I open my mouth.
London's always got to get his digs in, man. Now, from what I can gather on the PlayStation 4 Pro, the game has it's not a set frame rate. It seems to be a dynamic frame rate. In most instances, the game seems to be running above 30 frames. In some areas where there's not a ton of stuff going on, it's definitely close to 60. But there are moments, once we get inside the palace, when there's a lot of enemies, the game does kind of bog down a little bit. Not so much where it's unplayable, but you can tell it's a fluctuating frame rate. And we missed a turn. Here it is. I'm going to slide down, baby.
Slippery. What exactly are these structures, then? Have you seen others like them, since you're such an expert?
I've had my fair share of halls based on wild speculation. It doesn't matter if it comes from desperate need or delusions of grandeur. There's never anything there but bitter disappointment.
Was this with Foster?
Before Foster.
I got the feeling you two have been together for ages.
I've been crisscrossing the spur for 1,000 years. Foster was with me for a century and a half.
Man, that actually scared me earlier when I played, and it just got me to jump right there, too. Damn it.
If you've only been with Foster for a century and a half, you hardly knew him at all. I mean, we've been traveling together for a century, and we only just met.
100-year haul is quite the extreme. Foster's longest was 16. I knew him plenty.
He trusted you, and said that I could too, that you would help me.
Foster didn't leave me much choice. You don't mess up a job for your grandfather and then team up with the person you were sent out to get in the first place.
You could have just handed me back.
You really are naive.
I think you're doing this because you believe there's a chance to get your friend back.
You're so caught up in your homemade religion that you're oblivious to common sense. I warned Foster about you resourcefuls. Best not to deal with your kind.
Why did you then? Get involved, I mean.
Foster disagreed. And gold makes for a powerful argument.
There must be a way inside down there. That looks like some kind of landing bay.
It looks like nothing of the sort.
You know, you're nothing like I
Jeez.
expected from a friend of Foster's. Such an odd team.
An old rescue vessel from the Requisition and a man without a past. None of our marks knew what hit them. And then we were gone. The stuff we pulled off. You wouldn't believe it.
I believe it. I was one of your jobs.
A thieving rich kid with a gambling problem hardly qualifies. I got the brief. Not much of an extraction, really. No one giving a shit about you where you dug down. Only challenge Foster could see was that your grandfather wanted you to willingly hand back whatever it was you stole from him.
You're wrong about everything. Even Foster.
I seriously doubt that I am. He was good, Foster. Always had his eye on the ball. You may think you knew him, that he felt sorry for you, but he would never let that happen. I don't know what went wrong that night, why Foster died, but I'm sure you don't understand much of it either.
Sorry, I didn't mean to threaten your romance.
Cute.
Finally, something. It's stuck. I need some force. Does the gun pack any punch?
Sure does.
I like it.
I'm taking the gun offline to preserve energy.
Being alone on this, like, in this facility, there are some eerie moments where it's just very strange. It's very eerie. They do, like I said, the presentation, they do a great job early on. Whether or not that holds up throughout the entire game, I have no idea.
I'll be there. Are you getting all this?
I'm with you.
He was right. It all looks completely untouched.
You were right about the palace. What's the plan now?
We get Foster back, and then we leave.
I was hoping for something more specific.
I suppose we're looking for some sort of apparatus like the one Gramps had.
Would that be the Soul Sucker?
I'll know it when I see it.
Even if you did find the thing, this place is dead. What mythic technology might be here is now useless.
We just need to power her up. Tell her that we're here. I can feel this is going to work out just fine.
Shouting.
Hello? Anyone home? I'm moving down. There must be some sort of power below the halls. I recognize these. They look like the stone faces at the gates between the garden terraces. Maybe it's a door of some sort. We called them gatekeepers. They were supposed to make us ponder if we were worthy to pass.
You're not getting through without power, and this place is dead.
This place is dead anyways. It's one of my favorite lines from the movie Swingers. Have you guys ever seen that? Swingers? Awesome movie. So you can see, because I jumped there, you can see that triangle filling in. It has to charge in order for me to jump down. Or
It's a voice.
It looks like a tuning fork.
Yes, obviously. The resourcefuls call them voices. Strike them and let the true tone interfere to find clarity and enlightenment.
Ah, of course.
What What does that mean?
The suit detects a pattern to the sound, and the decryption is kicking in.
Those are like collectibles.
I bet that's an activation mechanism for the door.
Sure is. Now we just got to go find the key.
This is meaningless. Foster is dead. Some things just cannot be undone. Think about it. If you could capture the souls of the dead in a cube, and then bring the person back to life, surely it would be a huge industry.
It's not like that. I know for a fact that he's in there.
I have wondered how you came to believe that, but I doubt that I'll agree with your reasoning. You resourcefuls are too far removed from reality to make sense. You've seen nothing but the bought and paid for fairy tale designed by your grandfather.
Well, the reality of my fairy tale upbringing was that it was all about this place. No, even before that, my genes. Graham spent centuries creating his resourcefuls, carefully picking potential from the gene pool. We were created to come here, and this feels very real to me.
You tell him.
Now, these I know. We had rings exactly like them in the gardens.
The suit detects a small gravity charge inside the scepter.
Perhaps it can power the big door. The pedestal looks like the activation mechanism.
Alright, we're
Just
gonna
out of
head back.
curiosity, what's the higher meaning of keeping scepters displayed inside huge rings made of gold? It does seem a bit much, even if you are filthy rich.
The rings were not for show. They are part of our training.
Oh.
What's up, JD? This is it's a slow burn to start the game. I actually played a little bit earlier. I'm starting from the beginning here just so you guys can see how the story unfolds. But it's a slow burn getting to the action, but they do a good job of trying to build up the narrative, which I can appreciate in an indie game, trying to flesh out the characters a little bit.
Rhythm of the spinning starts to sink in.
Starts off mysterious, but then the action does pick up, and you start to see some of the Hitman DNA running through its veins.
Then the leap. No space.
Right. You almost had me going there for a while.
We're going to head back to the door and throw that scepter in there, and we'll move to the next area. I'm actually making my way through this much quicker than the first time I played it, so should be able to get quite a bit of action in.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed that there were no other exits from this pit than the big door. How I hope the scepter will magically make it open.
It will work.
Must be nice always feeling that the world will act in your favor. It doesn't, though. My guess is that you will learn this momentarily.
This guy is a savage. Yeah, JD, this is developed by the developer Ultra Apps, and this is a brand new studio. They're located in Copenhagen, and their studio comprises of some of the members from IO Interactive, and so you can see some of that Hitman DNA. Not so much right here, but we will later on in the game.
Now, let's see.
Nothing. What a shock. Looks like you might be joining Foster after all, just not the way you imagined.
I don't get it. What Gramps did to hundreds of resourcefuls for this? I saw it the day I came to you. The subject lies down on a marble surface with a strange silver pattern. And the silver unfolds, pierces the skin, and slithers inside. In about half an hour, it consumes everything. All that remains is an empty slab of marble and a newly formed cube.
No.
He called it the translation. The flesh and the soul shall enter the palace through separate doors. We said it 1,000 times, never realizing. I didn't catch Foster's soul in a magical cube. He was dying, and I translated him.
You killed him. The fact that your grandfather did unspeakable things doesn't prove he was right. That Foster can come back, that's insane.
It was the only chance we had, and believe me, I'm good at chances. I gamble for a living, remember? That's how I stayed alive all these years after leaving the gardens.
Well, this time it didn't pan out. Look at you now.
You think I'm giving up?
Yeah, as we make our way through the palace here now, we'll begin to learn basically the crux of this game. The palace will begin to come back online, so to speak, and we'll realize that we are not alone. Like I said, it's sci-fi, but there are some, like, I'm not going to say horror elements, but there are some moments of unease that you're just kind of like, this is really creepy.
Do you see that? The dim glow.
The activation of the door must have triggered a chemiluminescent. Not uncommon for evacuation purposes.
This is going for $24.99, JD, which I was talking about earlier. It's a little bit higher than I would expect for an independent title. But as you can see, production values early on, this game looks really good and it runs good. Audio work is fantastic, so I feel like the $24.99 may be a little bit higher, but at least you're getting a little bit better quality product from an independent title at this price. My concern, though, is how well this is the studio's first game. Okay, this is their first title, and they're out here at $24.99, which is usually anywhere from like $5 to $10 more than what we expect from most independent titles. And I'm kind of curious to how this game is going to hold up during the fall rush.
I compared the quarters you're in now with the overall structure of the planet. The palace is everywhere, all the way to the core. Huge sectors separated by the outside structures you were in.
So I'll be very curious to see how well this game does sales-wise, and hopefully it doesn't have too big of an impact on the studio if it doesn't sell well. So like I said, man, $24.99 for an indie game with the studio has some pedigree behind it. There's some talented developers there. But during the fall, that's a bold move.
I'm getting some local increases in energy emission.
Know what it is?
Can't tell. It's not radiation. One of them is close to your location. I'll pin it to your HUD.
I've got to give it to him, the old man. This place is spectacular.
Nothing but an infinite palace would suffice for you resourcefuls.
I wish you'd stop calling me resourceful.
It's what you are.
I had the training, but I never bought into Gramps' vision. I never wanted any of this.
Yet here you are.
I was 6 the first time I ran away. I hiked for weeks to see what was beyond the gardens. When I finally reached the wall, Gramps was there waiting for me. There's nothing out there but people living like animals, fighting to please their immediate needs and desires. They have no ambition, no perspective. Why fight to get the best out of the little time you have on Earth when you could be fighting to have much more? He went on about the wonders of the palace, but he had already lost me. All I could hear was the blood rushing in my veins. I wanted that. To fight for the here and now. I decided that I would do whatever it took to make that happen. So I went back with him, to follow the training, figuring I'd need it to get away. And I was good. He called me his prize. Before the town.
That's a great point. That's a good point, JD. That very well be what they could be doing. I just think that this is a very difficult time to sell that. I mean, even though Hellblade was the same way, Hellblade didn't quite have the competition that this game has currently. But that's a great point. This could be another entry in the whole, hey, what do they call it, like double or AAA experience at a budget price.
Must have wanted me to take you here, but he would never buy into your grandfather's delusions. It's so far-fetched, it almost makes me sick.
Man. London is just a dick. I think it's this way. We gotta jump down.
Is that a throne?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it cost. I'm sure it cost a penny if it's priced at $24.99 for a first-time effort by a studio, regardless of who's there. But it's this is Short Pause Corporate HQ, huh? Yeah, this is where I sit. So I just hop into work every day and just look at my phone.
Must be it.
One benefit this game has is it is out on Steam, and I'll be checking the sales numbers on that whenever they go live or whenever we find out how it's doing on there. But hopefully it had a lot of success on Steam when it came out, because I think it came out a couple weeks ago on Steam ahead of kind of like the big fall rush. But squeezing it out here on PS4 is a bold move.
It looks exactly like the thing that made the cube.
That's the top 1% for you right there, buddy. That's how they live. I'll just sit in my little basement and be happy.
Something's not right. I'm picking up a whole load of anomalies.
Oh, and you done did it. Super Cooper lives this lavish lifestyle, I see.
London? Foster?
And now things start to get real. Oh, Super, you playing Middle Earth, Shadow of War? How is it, man? I watched Frankie's stream from last night. Game looks fantastic. From what I could gather, it looked really, really good. The combat looked like it was a lot of fun to play, too.
Foster? Are you doing this?
Ben, I thought I lost you. Massive power surges are blazing through the outside structures, and the gravity clouding nearly tore me apart.
She's waking up.
More like malfunctioning. If those reaction veins cross... Wait, what's that? Something's wrong with your HUD.
I think it's the cube telling me where to go. It happened when I put it on my back.
Unlikely. The suit is hard-coded, and all blocks capped to the minimum. No room for adding to or altering the code.
See that? The suit's being enabled to interface with the palace. Maybe it's Foster trying to help.
Foster was many things, but not a systems physicist.
Why are you still denying that we have a chance? Everything around us is a marvel.
Everything around you is critically unstable. I think the whole place is malfunctioning. You should be getting out of there.
I've got all the Yakuza games, man. I've not played it yet.
Look, I got a new waypoint, and it's a lot closer. Look at that.
Now those things that I just picked up right there, that thing that was spinning, that actually recharges my my cells. You'll see I have 2 triangles now. So when you see those things spinning around, you're going to want to pick them up.
It charged my suit.
I don't know what sort of holographic phenomenon that was, but it was extremely compatible with the dual retention system of your suit.
See, I jumped down there, so it burned up one of the triangles. But we're coming up on another one of these recharges. When you grab that,
Power for your suit won't be a problem.
powers
The
it up.
outside of the palace sectors burn red hot, but even inside the walls and floors, I read a buildup of gravity charge.
Why would anyone need power on a scale like that?
I hope it's not part of the malfunction. Overcharging would be catastrophic.
Always seeing the bright side.
Another collectible here. Wants us to go this way. Not going that way. And boom.
This is bad, N. The palace system's shut down, but it's still charging. The jewel mass is nearing the Dirac child limit.
That felt horrible. I couldn't move.
It was a massive energy discharge. It must have made your suit brace.
The lights have stabilized.
The discharge kicked in system processes planet-wide, but it's producing a lot more energy than needed. Building up charge again.
I'm gonna have to pay Bender a lot of money to play Doom, man. A lot of money. Now, what's going on here is integral to the story going forward, with how the power keeps shutting off and turning back on.
Another discharge.
There's air now. How is that possible?
I don't know. The chemical composition of the environment was altered in the blink of an eye. That must have been what the energy buildup was for.
What the? Flowers?
Flowers
They
in
weren't
her
here
hair.
before the blackout, right?
No, they were not.
I guess it's part of the welcoming package. What's that?
What indeed?
Oh, there are more of them. Everything is so neat. Weird how it scatters these chunks all over.
So we see these things are starting to appear on the floor. And the system is shutting down once again.
What the? This one moves.
Worse, it's alive. The sphere appears when humans or animals are detected in close proximity, but this...
What are they?
Barf. Yuck.
It can't be Foster, right? I mean, the palace did try to read the cube and then malfunction. This can't be the palace attempting to bring him back, right?
No matter the intent, that's not Foster. It's not sentient.
What does that mean? I get color now.
The suit senses a threat. Yellow means that you might be noticed. Red means you're targeted.
So as you see, there's a heads-up display sphere, which will tell you whether an enemy can see you, whether you're clear, whether you're stealth or undiscovered, or if you're being targeted. Orange is you're being hunted, but hidden, the enemy will search for you. So we're starting to see some of that Hitman DNA in there. Enemies will be able to spot you, hunt you down, and search for you. And you got these damn things. Apparently, this looks like a person just laying around. It's kind of creepy. Oh boy.
They'll be walking soon. Are you still sure this is a good idea? I don't know what's most absurd. The palace populating itself with these grotesque hostiles, or you charging on like you'll be able to survive when they're fully evolved.
I never expected this to be easy.
Some creepy stuff happening now.
What is this?
That's you, N.
But why would it build copies of me? It jumped me.
The red spikes suggest that you won't survive another encounter like that.
I don't get it. Why would the palace copy and then attack the first human to arrive? It makes no sense.
The constant crashing indicates deep corruption. Those creatures must be part of that malfunction.
If you get hurt, I think you can get attacked once, and you'll see those red spikes around you. That means if you take another shot, you will die. Just try to avoid these guys at all costs. So he can see me, or she can see me. Let's try to get through here without being attacked. Alright, so you can see we can push people. This will cost stamina. So we have one triangle. You can push them down to get them out of your way. But then you can't do anything until it recharges, which it already has. So that's good. Alright. Let's get some of these things here.
I'm bringing the gun online. Each shot will kill as many as you can line up.
Now that's key right there. It says each shot will kill as many as you line up. Obviously, I only have 2 shots with 2 triangles, so you want to try to line up as many as you can to get as many kills as possible. You want to be efficient. All right, so we dropped 2 there. Dropped 3 on that one. All right. And they're back.
I thought you said the gun was lethal.
It is.
So, the palace resurrected them.
Who knows what this death trap is capable of? My guess is things will only get worse.
He's right.
You need to work on your motivational skills.
So you got our shooting skills. Reticule turns red on viable targets. The number of reticule rings count the number of targets currently overlapping the aim vector 1 to 3 plus. Tagging, aiming at an enemy for 2 seconds will tag the target. The target will remain, but is only visible when the target is within the 50 meter radius. Quick aim assist is in there as well. So we'll quick load up here, and then we'll drop this scepter in here. It's open sesame. So we can do takedowns. Come up behind them and hold circle as opposed to tapping it. And now the only thing with takedowns is they make noise. So enemies will hear you if you do it around like a group of people. But takedowns like that, as opposed, if you push somebody, you lose one of your triangles. Takedowns do not take up any of your cell energy.
They're everywhere. I can't see anything.
Use your area scan.
Shouting alerts enemies. Oh, and everyone knows I'm here.
They're getting faster after each blackout. If they swarm you, use the gun's riot function. It's not lethal like the main driver, but it will knock down everyone in close proximity.
Got it.
So riot gun, what this does is it'll actually, as long as they're close enough to you, I think within a 4 meter radius, you hold down, it's only 100 degrees, it doesn't cover behind you, but see, obviously these guys get near me, you'll see them light up with X's around them, hit R1, knocks them down. It's non-lethal though. this way. Now it's interesting, I closed the door behind me there, but this game is, as you can see, they can't open the door. Right now they can't. But it's pretty sweet how this game, how the AI is geared in this game. It's so cool. Oh, total misfire. We're out here. I shoot like Boyce does in every other first-person shooter, just completely miss. Oh. And it's rebooting. Ooh. He'll never, ever, ever be champion ranked. Ever. Oh crap. Get off. Just another misfire.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, got another one of these. There's something in here. Oh, this way. There we go.
It's creating weird imprints on me. They're strange. What's that?
The matter is strengthening your suit's ability to retain energy from your surroundings.
Now what that does, that thing we just picked up there, as you can see now next to that triangle in the middle of my screen, there's a number 5. And if I collect, every time you collect 6 crystals that are littered throughout the map, you gotta find them, they're collectibles, you'll actually unlock another cell square, or another cell triangle for energy. So you want to find as many of those as you can. You want to explore and find them all so you can have more energy for shooting, making moves, and whatnot. All right, sit back up in the short pause throne. Not gonna make it.
It's closing fast. You won't make it.
Feels like this damn suit is slowing me down.
You're just out of stasis. It's protecting you.
I don't want that.
If you insist, it'll be painful and your range limited.
All right, so now we can sprint, but obviously there's a cost. When you make your moves, when you hit sprinting, it burns up your stamina, and you need stamina to push people as well. So as you can see, when we get up and run here, we hold down X, and you'll see that bar above my triangle is burning out. Red means, and it'll tell you what these different things do. Alright, so now this is where things are going to get interesting, and this will kind of explain what's going on with this place and what happens every time it goes offline.
It activated a new interface. I wonder what it's monitoring.
We have to collect, I think, 9 of these things to open an elevator in the middle of the room, but we are obviously completely surrounded.
It's counting down. But to what?
Alright. Got another one. Oh boy. All that crystal, we gotta get out of here. Crap. Oh, there was somebody right behind me. Thank God that rebooted, because I was in trouble.
I bet the pavilion will open when I've collected my balls.
Ooh, barely made it. All right, they're rebooting. As you can see, they keep getting back up. See, grab a few more of these.
Only 4 more to go.
Oh boy, look out. Well, they still haven't gotten to go to the explanation of what's going on, but once they do, it's pretty cool. We're gonna keep making our way through here.
Only one.
Crap. Okay, we got them all. The elevator's opening. Let's get the hell out of here. Resetting. And we're gone.
Look, it's decrypting the voices.
There's no way I got all of them. Is there? So now this message would become clear, I believe, if you would have got everything. But I didn't get everything, so I don't get to see shit. Again, to decrypt that, you gotta have those. You gotta get all the tuning forks on that level.
The lift is slowing. You've traveled 55 kilometers.
No, this is important here.
They're not crossing the water.
They're not crossing the water. So they won't get in the water, so I'm gonna make my way through this level. Actually, we're gonna wait. I'm gonna go through the water. So here I am in the water. They won't go in it. I don't know if it'll happen here. It might happen in the next room, but we'll see if the power goes off. But you notice they said they couldn't walk in the water.
I wonder if it's edible. I'm starving.
Get your stamina up if you eat some chow. Get another one of these crystals. Okay, they're still not getting into the water. Power's going off. Let's go over and grab this scepter we need. Alright, back offline. Now back online. And now they're running in the water. And they're sprinting. I noticed they weren't doing that before. They weren't sprinting. They weren't going through the water. Now they're sprinting. Oh, damn, dude came up quick. Oh my god! Oh! So now we just died because they were sprinting and they were running through the water. We couldn't get away from them, which is what they weren't doing when we first entered the room. So I can't remember how it's going to load me back up here. Okay, so that's where we got to get the scepters over there. Now they're not running in the water again. Kind of just walking about. Now I want to test something out. I want to see if the power goes off here. To see if it holds true. They're all just waiting for me to make my move. Doesn't look like the power is going to turn off just yet. There it goes. Gotta hustle. I gotta stop sprinting too. Gotta move. Okay, now it's rebooting. Now their manners have changed again. We're walking through the water.
They don't mind the water.
Got guys on our 6. Damn, they're on my ass. Get off me. Crap. Oh, crap. Oh, there we go. Just barely made it. All right, shit. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Shoot. They're all over me. Damn. Oh, rebooted. Thank God. Run! Oh, now they're shooting. Now they're shooting. Okay. Man. So basically what's happening, I think they'll explain it right here.
They're getting more capable after every blackout.
I think there's more to it.
There is.
I have a weird feeling that the palace is registering my moves with those icy holographs, then using the information to improve the abilities of those things.
A little far between the dots there, Em.
I just feel like there's some strange rhythm to it. A warped set of rules.
You are definitely disposed to find meaning where there is none. As you say, it's in your genes.
This. Top down. Whoa, they're shooting again. All because I was shooting. Let's grab this because we're going to need it. Here comes a power reset. So now, this quickly. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my God. I am so screwed. Oh damn, they all got me. Alright, so basically what's happening, I don't want to drag it on anymore because I can't remember how far ahead it starts to explain things, but basically what the AI is doing is every time the lights are on, the AI is recording my movements, what I do, every single thing I do, opening doors, running through water. And then when it does a reboot, it's updating the system to update the AI of the echoes that we see of my character. So if we go through that area where we jumped in the water, you remember how they weren't walking in the water, but because I ran through the water, once the reboot kicked in, it registered, oh, we can walk through water. So that's why they were chasing me through that. Same with opening doors. Same with shooting. If you're shooting a lot, they're going to start shooting at you. Or if you start playing stealthy and slinking around stealthily, it's going to do the same to you. So running through guns blazing isn't the best idea. Let's see if we can change things up and outthink yourself, so to speak. I want to see if the lights come up, because right now, obviously, you see they're in these rooms and they're not coming out the doors because I haven't opened a door yet. So let's see what happens if the power goes out, which should be coming up. All right. Now, when it does a reboot, it doesn't register your moves. It can't study what you're doing. So obviously, we just opened a door. The AI does not know to open doors yet. Now this match, it should not be able to open any doors until after this, because we opened the door when it started recording. If I understand this correctly. Let's check out this area. Oh boy. Well, if I'm not mistaken, she shouldn't be able to open that door. Oh, they can open the door. Well, because I opened the door already. Oh boy. And she spotted me. Oh damn, man, she's hunting me. And I need to remove. Run! Damn it! Alright, dude. You gotta go. You gotta go quick. Run! And rebooting. And a reboot.
They do what I do. They learn from me. I'm certain of it. They can't cross the water, but after I've done it and a blackout has evolved them, they do it without hesitation. And you saw how they were trapped behind the doors, pacing to get to me, and after I opened a few and a blackout, it was second nature to them.
These are not crossing the water. So much for your theory.
No, that makes perfect sense. They stopped doing what I stopped doing.
And now I want to see if when the power goes out. Still not crossing the water. All right, JD, have a good night, buddy. Thanks for tuning in, man. Another crystal. How many more we need? One more?
I'm curious to learn more about that theory of yours. The one where everything makes perfect sense.
Don't you see it? They unlearn as well. It's all tied to the blackout cycles. When the lights are on, the palace keeps track of my actions, registering what I do with those icy ghosts. After some time, it will reboot to update the copies. That's what's causing the blackouts. I get no ghosts when the lights are out. So my guess is that the palace is blind while it's rebooting. When the lights come back on, their abilities match my actions from the previous light cycle. That would explain why they wouldn't cross the water up there. I didn't touch any water in the light cycle before I reached them.
They echo your behavior.
Yes, echoes. That's exactly what they are. Another airlock.
They're coming. Hurry, get out.
Come on.
They've all stopped.
What are they doing?
Never mind that, just get out.
All right, and basically what this will do will take us to the next area, and that's where we're going to stop the stream. But this has been Echo from developer Ultra Apps. You can follow him on Twitter at the Ultra. And like I said, this is a new independent studio. A lot of the people that's comprised of some developers that worked with IO Interactive, who obviously is responsible for Hitman. So there are some Hitman elements to this. I'm very interested in this story. I want to figure out how to beat the AI, which is essentially beating yourself. You saw a couple things when I was shooting a lot. They started shooting back. If I start to play more stealthy, the area before, they're going to be more stealthy in the next area. So the AI is going to adapt to how you play the game. Now, how deep this gets or how advanced the AI gets remains to be seen. I mean, I don't know how terribly difficult this is going to be. I imagine it's going to become more difficult as you continue to kind of outdo yourself, because you're basically playing against yourself. So I'll be curious to see. Maybe does that mean if I just go and start missing everybody with my shots that they'll be bad aim too? So if I just go stormtrooper on everybody and miss all my shots, they'll miss as well. So that's one thing to consider. I wonder if it's that accurate in terms of the AI, like the copying of AI and what I do. So very interesting game. Again, this is $24.99. It's a little bit higher than what we expect from most independent games. I'll be curious to see how well this game sells in the middle of a fall rush. It does have potential. The story is very interesting. I'll be curious to see if the levels will be different, the further along that you play, or is this going to be the same paths? That's going to be a thing we'll want to look out for. I want to hear more about the story, about what happened to Foster. I want to know more about London. Is he just an AI, or does he know more about what's going on around me? There's a lot of questions I have with the game, with the story, things I want to find out, and things I will find out the more I play. But for $24.99, the presentation is nice. The game looks and runs good. Like I said, when you get to an area in the map where there's a lot of people, a lot of the echoes, it does seem like it slows down a little bit, but it's nothing like game breaking. You can just tell I don't think this is a locked frame rate, which I'm okay with, because in some areas it looks absolutely beautiful in motion. Like, it looks really, really good. So you can see where the money went, why there's a $24.99 price. The production values are a little bit higher than what we would expect from an independent title, anywhere from like $14.99 to $19.99. But give this a look-see. I'll probably stream some more later next week. I'm going to be off for a couple days. But this has been Echo. It's available now on PlayStation 4 and on Steam. I'm not sure if there's an Xbox One planned release. I'm sure if this does well here on PS4 and Steam. Like I said, this is a small studio, so they can't just kick out versions of a game to every platform. It's not that simple. But I'm sure if it does well here sales-wise on Steam, and if it does well here on or PlayStation 4, I believe that we'll see this on Xbox One at some point, hopefully. So, but make sure you visit the website, www.shortpause.com. Follow us on Twitter @TheShortPause. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give it a like. If you didn't like the video and you want to give it a thumbs down, that's totally cool. We respect that. If you do, though, hop into the comments. Let us know what you didn't like about the video, and we'll do our best to make sure the videos are more appealing going forward. If you didn't like the quality of the stream, if I'm an asshole, that's cool. You can tell me that. Typically, Boyce is the one that handles the Tuesday Night Indie Spotlight. He's our veteran, but Boyce is out of town this weekend, so I decided to hop in here and play Echoes, because this game really intrigued me. So give us a follow here on YouTube, Short Pause Gaming here on YouTube. Always streaming every Tuesday night, 10 p.m., the Indie Spotlight. Plus, the Short Pause Gaming podcast will air on here every Sunday night. We'll usually have it uploaded sometime in the afternoon, evening. If you can't watch it, if you don't want to watch it on here on YouTube, that's cool. It's available on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Google Play, and Stitcher. Short Pause Gaming podcast. Give it a listen. If you got any questions, comments, or suggestions, podcast@shortpause.com. And that'll about do it for tonight. My name is Brent Fausting. Follow me on Twitter @TheDude1979. And hope you all have a great night. Thanks for watching.